What's cracking, Jack? You are in the jungle. Week 2 of college football. I've got 7 games, the 7 best games to break down for you right here, right now, and to play on every single one of those games. We've got a lot to get to. Let's go. Greetings, everybody. Welcome back to the show. And for joining us for the first time, welcome to the jungle. I've got to play in the 7 biggest games in college football for week 2 on Saturday, and I'm going to leave 2 links for you in the comments section. The first link is to my $5 favorite play of the week in college football. For just $5, just a fin spot, and no further obligation, you get my best bet in week 2 of college football text to your phone. The second link is to become a jungle member, and there's no better time to do so. I cap NFL, college football, MLB, NBA, and college basketball. For a little as 55 cents a day, you can become a member, get my full betting card sent to your phone every single morning, access to our members-only Discord. It's a great community. It's fast-growing. A lot of great people in there chiming it up, giving different betting ideas. And you also get access to me if you'd like me to opine on any other bet that you're considering placing. We have a free weekly trial. You've got nothing to lose. Take it for a test spin and see if it's for you. Today's full video is brought to you by Outlier.bet, the top name in sports betting research, and by Red Lobster. Don't believe the lobster poaching rumors. First game we're looking at, number 15 Michigan at number 18 Oklahoma. I can't wait for this one. The Sooners are laying 4.5 points. Both teams are 1-0 with convincing wins but over inferior opponents. Oklahoma coach Brent Venables is one of the best defensive coaches at any level in football, and his Sooners defensive line is top 5 in the country, in my opinion. They were 6th in the country last year in tackles for loss, but that's what Brent Venables' defenses do. Michigan comes in with a very young team led by true freshman quarterback Bryce Underwood, who just turned 18 years old. He's unbelievably gifted, but this is his first road start ever in Oklahoma against a very hostile crowd. I think this is going to be baptism in the deep end for the young Michigan quarterback. Oklahoma's quarterback, Johnny Mateer, Washington State transfer, is one of the best quarterbacks in college football. In my opinion, he's top 5, and although he's going against a tough Wolverine defense, the edge that he gives Oklahoma at the quarterback position here is undeniable. He's a proven triple threat. He can step up in the pocket and sling it, he can scramble and throw on the run, and he can run it himself. I think the Sooners are undervalued in this game. Give me Oklahoma minus the 4.5. Second game we're looking at, one of the most underrated rivalries in college football. It's Iowa at number 16, Iowa State. Iowa State laying 3 here. These games are always close. Iowa State won 2 of the last 3. Iowa used the ground game to beat up on Albany last week, but they're going to have to clean up that passing game a little bit against Iowa State. Mark Gronowski threw for just 44 yards for Iowa, but in all fairness, they didn't really turn him loose. They didn't have to, but when he did throw, it was just little dinks and dunks where you had to see him really sling it in an Iowa Hawkeye uniform. Staying with the quarterbacks, Iowa State quarterback Rocco Becht is fantastic. The kid's a winner. He doesn't make mistakes. He hasn't thrown an interception his first 2 games. He's got 5 touchdowns, and he can push the ball down the field. He has a near 70% completion percentage and has a passer rating of 183.8 through his first 2 games. He's also handled pressure well. It looks like he has a clear advantage here at the quarterback position for Iowa State. Iowa has a fantastic defense, we know that, but Rocco Becht is used to playing Power 5 schools, and he's been successful in doing so. When Iowa can bully you and run the ball, that's when they're most effective. But when forced to throw the ball downfield, they struggle. We've seen that in games recently last year against UCLA and Missouri. They won't be able to run the ball like they want to against Iowa State. And if Iowa State gets up on the scoreboard, which I think Rocco Becht will be able to do early for the Cyclones, it's going to be tough for Iowa to keep pace with them. And watching that Iowa State-Kansas State game in Week 0 in Dublin, when it went into deep waters in the fourth quarter, Iowa State thrived. You saw masterful running back rotations that Iowa State used and the mistake-free football that they played. So I think whether this game is a scoreboard race or whether it gets dragged down to the end in the deep waters, I think that Iowa State holds the edge. Now, I don't mind laying the 3 here, but I think the best play on the board is Iowa State money line. It will be a close game. And some books have this for around minus 140. That's my threshold. Iowa State money line minus 140. Anything more than that, I would lay the points. Third game we're looking at. Number 12, Arizona at Mississippi State. The Sun Devils laying 6.5. Both teams are returning a lot of production from last season. ASU is second in returning production in the country, and Mississippi State is 18th. It's always interesting when you see different conferences play SEC teams. This game was played last year, and Arizona State covered their 5.5 spread. They were favored by 5.5 and covered it. But the game is closer than people expected. Arizona State came out flying, and Mississippi State clawed back into that game. And that was without Mississippi State quarterback Blake Saban. He's back now, and he looked very good against Southern Miss in Week 1. Arizona State in that game also had Cam Scadaboo. They don't have him in this game. In that game last year, he ran for 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. I think Mississippi State can win the game straight up. And my rule when I take teams with points, I don't take them unless I think they can win the game straight up. The play here, I'll take the points. Mississippi State plus the 6.5. Kansas at Missouri. Mizzou is laying 6.5 here. Kansas is playing really good football right now. Their defense is much improved this season. They've allowed just 14 points and 359 yards only through their first 2 games. Now, those offenses weren't Missouri, but Fresno State is a respectable Group of 5 program, and Kansas City completely shut them down. Veteran quarterback Jalen Daniels has been explosive to start the season. 456 yards and 7 touchdowns through just a game and a half. He sat the second half, and last game they're up by so much. Missouri quarterback Bo Perbola looked impressive against Central Arkansas, but the level of competition here must be considered. He attempted just 56 passes across 2 seasons at Penn State, making him an unproven commodity so far versus a proven leader in Jalen Daniels. I think the underdog is barking in Missouri with Kansas. It should be a closer game than what people expect. I trust the experience of Jalen Daniels when that happens to get it done. I think this is a game where an SEC team loses to a Big 12 team. Give me the Jayhawks with the 6.5 points. Number 5, Illinois at Duke. Illinois laying 3. Illinois quarterback Luke Altmaier looked sharp in the opening game. He completed 81% of his passes. That's video game numbers, 81% of his passes, and threw 3 touchdowns. It'll be a different test against Duke, however. Duke has a good secondary, a fast secondary, and elite edge rushers. Duke quarterback Darian Mensah looked good too, but that was against Elon. They're not even an FBS team, and Illinois is going to be a much different animal than Elon was. Duke isn't built to protect the trenches, and Illinois defensive front 4 has the ability to get a ton of pressure without blitzing, leaving guys back in coverage. Mensah won't get the same clean looks that he did last week. Both these teams are stepping up in class this week. It should be a measuring stick, an out-of-conference measuring stick for both these teams. I think that Illinois holds the advantage all over the field, though. Quarterback experience, quarterback decision-making, defense, and especially in the trenches on both sides. I think Illinois wins this game pretty handily. Give me the Fighting Illini minus the 3. Number 20, Ole Miss at Kentucky. Ole Miss laying 10.5 here. I think we go under the total at 51.5 in this game. Kentucky has no offensive rhythm whatsoever. They look inept on offense, and Ole Miss hung 63 points on Georgia Southern last week, but it's a new starting quarterback who struggled with turnovers, interceptions, and fumbles last week. Now he's making his first career road start against an SEC school with a great defense and a rowdy crowd. I think both these teams struggle to move the ball, struggle with turnovers. Both defenses are good, and the under has hit 7 out of 8 times that 7 of the 8 last times that Ole Miss has been a favorite on the road. Give me under 51.5 in Ole Miss, Kentucky. Baylor at number 7, SMU. SMU is laying 3.5 points. Now, Baylor getting manhandled in the trenches by Auburn was very concerning last week. Auburn ran all over them, and Baylor looked like one of the nation's worst run defenses. Offensively, their passing game looked really good, and I think Sawyer Robertson is one of the best pure passers in the country. The jungle was on Auburn in that game. We won that. That was our play of the week in college football. Congrats if you tailed, because we knew that would be a mismatch in the trenches. But SMU doesn't run the ball very well. They struggled to really find any kind of running explosion against an inferior East Texas A&M opponent last week. In fact, they averaged just 4.5 yards a carry, and East Texas A&M isn't even an FBS team. I don't think they're going to chew Baylor up on the ground the same way that Auburn was able to. It's going to be a high-scoring game. SMU quarterback Kevin Jennings can sling it, but I like the Baylor pass defense more than pass defense more than I do than the SMU pass defense. The Mustangs allowed 350 yards of offense last week to East Texas A&M. And I think this is going to be a fast-paced, high-tempo, high-scoring game, and I trust Sawyer Robertson in that Baylor pass defense more than I do Kevin Jennings and the SMU pass defense. I think Baylor pulls off the upset, but I'll gladly take them with the 3.5 points. Let's have a day, Jungle Nation, and I'll see you next time with a little more money in your pocket.